beauties, and welcome back to IAmBeautifulHustler TV. And if you are new to my channel, then welcome, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and turn on your bell so you do not miss any of my posts. Now today we'll be doing a cute side sleek part with some baby hairs, and today's hair is provided by Arabella Hair. Now this is a 24-inch 13x4 lace frontal wig, and initially when I first got the wig, it did come with the elastic band on the inside and attached. But when I do install, sometimes the elastic band can stop the wig from laying as flat as it can, or it pulls extra tension from the frontal. So I just like to go in with razors or some nice little shears and remove that elastic band on the inside as carefully as possible. That way it does not create any holes. So with that being said, I went ahead and removed that elastic, but this is what the wig looks like after I went ahead and bleached the knots and plucked it out, of course. But as I mentioned, for today's style, we will be doing a nice side part, nice and sleek, melted to the T with some nice and soft, natural looking baby hairs, using my mousse and my holding spray method together. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into this video. As you guys can see, she already had her ball cap on, and I went ahead and applied the foundation to the inside of the lace. And for her skin tone, I did use the color Java from the New York Kiss palette, foundation palette, and I do use cream foundation, and that's just my preference. I do recommend to use cream or liquid if you can. Just take the liquid and just take a makeup brush and dab it onto the lace. But I do not like powder because, one, powder is very messy, and also you don't want your wig to not stick because that foundation is powdery and loose, and it just gets all over the skin that you cleaned before applying the wig. So for those who ever had a question about why I choose to use cream foundation or liquid foundation, that is exactly why. But however, getting back into this install, I'm just applying 2 layers on camera, but we did a total of 4 layers. And once that last layer is clear, we will go ahead and pull that lace down and begin to melt the lace. So now that last layer is clear, I'm going to go ahead and pull the center down first. I like to do this method simply because once you get the wig laid down in the middle, it gives you like a guideline of everywhere else your wig is going to lay. And so that's why I do it like that. And then I pull one side down, push the lace in, and then I pull the other side down and then push the lace in. And then you want to have them hold that nice and firmly so you can blow dry that lace into place. And I use the heat setting. I used to use cool, but what I noticed with the heat, it really melts the lace in faster and much better in my opinion. But it's up to you. You can use cool to warm to hot air. Is really your preference. Your preference. But I like to use the hot air, hot to warm air, and I just blow dry and comb that lace into place. And I also go in with my hot comb right afterwards and hot comb that lace into place as well, just to add more heat for the lace, the lace melt adhesive to really melt with the lace and into the skin. And then that's when I will go in with my melt belt and tie down that lace and let it sit for 10 minutes. So while that melt belt is sitting, on the hairline, I'm just gonna go ahead and begin to section off the back area. That way I can stitch down, across the wig. That way it does not, come up in the back. And what I like to do is just feel for that last braid, and I part the hair, the tracks wherever that last braid is. And then I like to stretch the wig downward and sew across through that cap part of the wig, and just stitch it straight across. That way I can secure the wig to that last braid. And also I stretch it down so it can make sure that the wig does lay flat at the top, so when you're parting there's like no heels or lumps or anything. You would get a nice and flat installation. But it's also mindful that when you are doing a wig install or a frontal install closure, no matter what, you want to make sure you are doing the braids down, like the braids nice and small. Just don't be lazy and do like big bulky braids, because it's going to give you a big and bulky installation. So the flatter and the smoother and the neater your braids, the flatter your wig or your lace install will be in general. So just keep that in mind. But however, as that melt belt, sits a little bit longer, I'm just going to kind of pre-prep the styling process. And as you guys seen from the thumbnail in the title, this will be a side part. So that's why I am just parting it off to the side and making sure I use my wax stick and my hot comb and just sleek everything around my parting area. And I'm also going to part off a section in the back of the wig just to make sure I cover all of the tracks in the back as well and get all of that smooth and sleek. So after hot combing, pretty much the parting area out, I'm going to go ahead and remove the melt belt so we can go ahead and get that extra lace cut off and really see the melt and really see the sledge of this wig. Now you guys see that I'm parting off a lot in that front area, and for those who've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know why I do that. That's too much lace that is not needed, and it does not match her natural hairline like that. I don't want to call it the Batman hairline, but that's what it's kind of like referred to, like the, kind of like the U-shaped hairline or whatever. One, that's not her natural, how her natural hairline is, so that all of that extra hair that creates that shape is not needed. And two, if you follow the steps correctly and you apply the glue to match the person's natural hairline, then you will already know that none of that hair outside of her hairline has been glued down, which means it needs to be cut off. So with that being said, that's why I went ahead and sectioned everything off that's going to get razored off or cut off with my lace glider. So I'm just taking my comb and parting all of that hair, away from the rest of the hairline. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and slit it down the middle, and then go in with my lace glider and begin to razor off all of that extra hair. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull off all the hairs in the front. That will be for the baby hairs. So that will be that little thin, not layer, but thin parting area that I'm pulling down. All of that will be used for baby hairs, and some of it will be plucked out as well. And I'm just going to do that across the hairline. And then I will spray the hairline with that Tresemme holding spray, and then of course retie it down with the melt belt again, and also just taking that same Java foundation and tapping it across the hairline just to make sure that it's super melted and super blended with her skin tone. And of course, after letting that melt belt sit for 10 minutes and letting that holding spray dry completely, we're going to remove it and go ahead and get started on the baby hairs. Now, as I mentioned before, we will do a mousse and holding spray baby hair method together to give you that nice, soft looking but strong holding baby hairs. So I'm going to go ahead and just comb all of that holding spray right on out so that the hairs are nice and soft, and I'm just going to move all of the hairs out the way. That way when I'm doing the baby hairs, I don't have to worry about any pieces that's not supposed to be swooped being swooped. So that's why I have a few clips going across the hairline. But once I go in and chop those baby hairs down short, I will take my mousse and also the holding spray and get to swooping. And of course, once I get the very last baby hair souped, I will go ahead and just spray across the hairline lightly with that holding spray once again. And I'm going to tie it down with the black wrapping paper. And in the meantime, just get all of the hair saturated with mousse to get the curls popping. And last but not least, as I mentioned before, I'm just going to take that mousse, and I'm using the Motions mousse. And y'all, this mousse smells so freaking good. Like, it smells so good, and it really gets the curls popping. So I'm just going to get that all into that hair, and I just like to take a small tooth comb and really get all those tangles out, and that way also spread the mousse on every strand of the curly wig to get the curls, like I mentioned, nice and popping. And once I do that and I finish that, I will go ahead and remove that black tissue paper and, just do the finishing touches on the sleek side part look. And this much, pretty much complete this installation process. So just stay tuned for the final looks. What I did not do that I do in every video is black spray the part. And that's because the frontal part of this wig was already kind of like naturally thin, so I did not want to do the black spray and then it kind of ruins the whole look. So that's why all I did was conceal the part and just let it be. I only plugged the front hairline. I didn't plug anything in the back of the wig or too far back behind the frontal, so it just has that natural thin parting space, if that makes sense. But however, the overall look was still bomb. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And as I mentioned before, if you have not subscribed yet, just go ahead and do so now. Thank you guys who are new to my channel for subscribing. I hope you enjoy the 400 and plus videos that I have. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next video. I love you guys. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.